Welcome to Tabletop Gaming Guild. Tabletop Gaming Guild is all about experiences and memories that playing games with friends and families can create. On today's episode, we will be talking about the news in the board gaming arena and various things that interest us. So, one of the things we want to bring up, as always, I'm always looking at Kickstarter, so there's a few things that have caught my interest in Kickstarter. Petrichor, which is a kind of unique game where you're playing as clouds and sprinkling rain. I have not actually played the game, so I don't know exactly how it works. But I really like the theme of playing as Cloud. It's so unique, so different. And they've added a new expansion, which is somehow including cows and methane clouds. So I'm not sure what that's about. I'd be curious to find out. I'm very interested in that project.
Well, I mean, how do you think the methane clouds get there? Control the weather to make it rain and dominate with Earth's plants. That game came out in 2018. So is this the same? Oh yeah, it is the same game.
This is an expansion.
Yeah, this is so you can get the base game and the expansion with it. So that's pretty cool. 1 to 4 players, takes 20 minutes per player. That's not too bad for a Euro-ish game. And it does have a good rating. Well, I mean, it's good rating for BGG at 7.0. So it's good. And I know a lot of people have talked about it in the past, so that's definitely a good pick.
Yeah, it's a unique thing. Nature themes have become more popular lately, but I haven't seen anybody else do a cloud theme. It's kind of.
And we can get this one right off the bat. Simon's going to release a new Zombicide, the Wolfsburg scenario. So if you don't have all 397,000 expansions for Zombicide, here's another one for you.
I was about to say, when are they not releasing a Zombicide?
Yeah, so I don't know if this one would. I assume it's going to go up to Kickstarter, and I'm assuming that I'm assuming it's going up to Kickstarter. It doesn't actually say, but if it goes to Kickstarter, I'm assuming you can get the rest of the stuff with it from earlier too. But Zombicide's okay. I wasn't really thrilled with the game too much. I know Nathan's played it too.
Nope, I have not.
Oh, you haven't played Zombicide? I thought I got the copy somewhere. But yeah, and I know the copy I had didn't have the rule where you had to. It had the rule where you had to shoot your own people, and I know they corrected that in later versions, but that was super annoying. So if you ran off ahead of me like you're the tank, I shoot you. Like, why can I not shoot anyone else? Why do I have to shoot?
Well, yeah, if you miss, right?
No, like, literally, you're the target if it's in that area. Like, I hit you. So it's not like missing. It's like, when I shoot, you get damaged. It's just weird. But I know it's very popular, and I've seen people that have painted up the whole thing. It's amazing.
Okay. Also out right now is, on Kickstarter, is Massive Darkness 2. Now, Massive Darkness is a fairly typical-looking dungeon delve, but it is a CMON, so you know the minis are going to look phenomenal. You know there's going to put a lot of work into the production, making a really solid game. Beyond that, it does look fairly standard. For a CMON, it's actually relatively generically, but this is not one of their huge titles, but it hasn't done bad.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a unique mechanism with this one too, that where there's areas that become dark and stuff in the game, and they actually have mechanisms and things that occur in those areas, which sort of cool because it sort of fits in with a theme like Massive Darkness. So I'm liking they did that in there. So there's new mechanics in it. They have a whole bunch of single game scenarios in it, so you're a campaign all the time. So I don't know. It looks neat. It has super miniatures in it. Are you going to back it, Nathan?
I don't know. I still have not played the first edition. It's still on my shelf in shrink wrap.
Probably should go through the first edition first. I believe it's a harder game, isn't it?
Supposed to be. Ooh, I see there's another expansion for Western Legends, which is another game that I have, but not unwrapped, and I have 6 expansions for it. But that I know got phenomenal reviews. It's supposed to be a highly thematic Western where you can play as a cowboy doing dirt nasty deeds, or you can be more lawful. You can kind of change throughout the game, and it's supposed to be highly thematic.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing this game at a retailer trade show, I think it was, before it came out, and I was super excited to check it out. And then, when it released, I discovered it was minimum 3 players, which was kind of oh man, I'm not going to be able to play this at home with my brother. So I gave it a pass at the time. I have not gotten back to it, sadly.
So one before I let Dan actually tell anything he's interested in, I'm going to go ahead and just jump ahead still because I found this one.
No. You go ahead. I've got quite a list.
Oh, good. Okay, so this one is super exciting to me because I do like Clank. I like the market layout and how they've added a board to it. So I was just looking for something more in a theme that I like. Not that I don't like the Clank theme, but it's not neither adventure theme nor nothing. It's sort of just there. But they are coming out with Dune Imperium.
I saw this today.
I know, it looks amazing. It's going to be deck building meets worker placement in a new board game for Galactic Struggles from the creators of Clank. So it might just give me that
like
extra
the fact
theme I
that
like.
the fact that it's from the creators of Clank means it's probably going to be pretty solid. The fact that it takes place in the Dune universe, well, I've got my eye on it now. Yeah.
Yep, and actually it's going to not only take place in the Dune universe, but it's also going to be based on the movie that's coming out with the same name.
Okay.
So that'll be cool. And I like the fact that it also says deck building meets worker placement. So I like the idea that Clank gave, I keep Clank forever, and it's just going to be that way. But I'd like to have that same idea without having to do the push your luck going through the dungeon thing, which is something different. So I think that matches it. I think it'll be awesome.
It'll be interesting to see how much theme they can get into it, because deck builders often do seem to struggle with that, getting the theme in the game. I mean, Dominion had like none, but Clank did all right for theme, especially Clank Legacy. Really got a theme, and Clank in Space, phenomenal.
I don't know that they have to try very hard with Dune to add the theme in, because they could just do like a faction sort of idea. Like Clank in Space had a lot more to do with the factions than regular Clank did, but Clank had factions too. So they could actually lean into that more and actually have the different factions and Dune in it. And
well, I think they could do. Yeah, I think the deck building mechanism might be how you differentiate yourself, and the worker placement might be how you're the same, or vice versa.
Yeah, or maybe the worker placement is going to be like you'll have asymmetric powers for your different houses, and you'll be those different houses, and the deck building portion will be just sort of like Dune-related objects that you can collect and do things. Maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah, just half the cards are these worthless spice cards.
Yeah. Who cares about stupid spice?
That's the whole point of Dune, is going after the spice?
Yes. I said it facetiously.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a number of games that I just mentioned to you listeners and to you guys. Full disclosure, all the games that I will mention in this episode, I see available as pre-orders through one of my distributors. So this means that they are coming to a friendly local game store, hopefully near you. Now, I have to put it with like a warning sign, because sometimes we hear about games that are coming down the pipeline and we don't see them in the store for like 3 months or 4 months sometimes. So just take it with a grain of salt. But I wanted to mention that I see Mariposa coming out from AEG. That's Hargrave's next design, the butterfly game.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one a lot.
Yeah, I don't know much about it except that it's her design, and that's enough for me.
That's enough for me too. I don't know that you're gonna. I don't know much. I actually don't know anything about butterfly, so never mind. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know if you can have like infinite numbers of expansions like you can with Wingspan, but I could be completely wrong. There might be billions of species of butterfly, and I don't even know. Like, I don't think in Mariposa you actually. I think it's a monarch butterfly, isn't it? Just a single butterfly.
The monarch is. There's several monarchs all over the cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the one type of butterfly in it. So I don't know. I don't know that it's not the same game. So yeah, forget everything I said. Yeah, I'm just excited about the game. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Take a look at it, folks. Take a look at it.
Just don't confuse it with the Mariposa from 2007. I don't think those don't seem to be related at all. They don't look related. They just butterfly.
Yeah, fair enough. There's a new version of Seven Wonders coming out from Asmodee. New art, it looks like to me. Not sure what they might have revised in the rule book, but Seven Wonders has always been a solid game. So there that is.
Yeah, they actually updated Seven Wonder. Second, they've changed Wonder player powers. The game is not compatible with Seven Wonders, and they said they will be redoing some of these, but not all of them.
Okay.
That may or may not. It may end up doing all of them, but right now they just said, which makes sense.
Well, they already have a few lists on BGG.
Leaders was pretty popular.
On BGG, they have listed Leaders, Armada, and Cities, and those three for.
They're doing a second edition of Armada. I didn't even think Armada did well. It's weird.
I'm also seeing Catan the 25th anniversary edition of Catan is coming out, folks. Believe it or not, it's been around that long. If you are a Catan fan, this does include the 5 to 6 player extension and some Catan scenarios and wooden pieces and sorting trays come in the box.
I might get that and never play it. Just because how nice it was. I'll just take my copy, put it in the board game library, and just have the nice
one. That I am ordering for my store is Marvel Splendor. I don't think I need to say anything more about Marvel Splendor. It's Splendor, except they tacked on a Marvel theme. So Splendor is a very solid but kind of basic engine building game that uses chits and gems and dukes, I think, in the original version. Not sure how they updated it for Marvel, but it's got comic book characters in it, so it's going to be in my store. What do you call it? Speaking of another comic book tie-in, I vaguely remember seeing a game that was based off of... there was this co-op game where you were trying to get the gems off of Thanos that came out like a year or two ago, right? Maybe longer than that. But they're re-releasing the game with a new theme, and it's a Batman/Joker theme, so...
Yeah, that seems really weird. Because it's an alternate universe, Batman and Joker. But Thanos, it's Thanos Rising. It's Thanos Rising.
Thanos Rising is the original game. You're right, and the new game is based off the Batman Who Laughs storyline. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, really weird. But yeah, I know. Yeah,
one of the more popular characters in current comic books is that alternate universe Batman, who, by the way, was infected by Joker, went insane, killed off the Justice League, and became the new Joker and Batman simultaneously. Yeah. In case you're wondering what happened in that storyline, read up on it, folks. Find it at your friendly local comic store.
I believe that's the third version of that game, because I believe there's also was a Harry Potter version of Thanos.
Well, Thanos Rising was first, then Voldemort Rising, or something similar, very similar, and then they have the Batman.
And then one that I have got half an eye on it's called Arkham Horror Under Dark Waves. It's an expansion to Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, which I own. This will be, I believe, only the second expansion for this newest version of Arkham Horror. It is a big box expansion containing like 4 additional scenarios, plus, characters and items and monsters and, all the other things that you would expect out of a big expansion box. Probably more tiles. I know there's definitely more tiles, because the game description mentions that they extend the game world into the nearby, outside of Arkham and into the nearby settlements of Ismouth and whatchamacallit.
Ismouth and where?
Don't know my Arkham lore well.
Yeah, I don't know my Arkham horror that well.
You gotta play the pandemic version.
Under Dark Waves. Here, wait a second. Let me get a more detailed description of it. Kingsport and Innsmouth are the 2 towns in Massachusetts that they exclude that. It's
also I heard that Target exclusive for Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion has ended, so you should be able to get that into the store now too.
On Sunday, I ordered for my store copies of Jaws of the Lion and Gloomhaven. I don't know much about it personally, but it looks cool. I think this was a well-regarded print and play game that's actually seeing publication. Under Falling Skies is coming out from Czech Games Edition. It uses dice placement, and I think it's almost like a tower defense game where you're trying to shoot down aliens trying to invade the Earth. It's 1 player only, though. Just FYI.
Oh yeah, I've seen the playthrough of this. Yeah, this was a print and play original, and yeah, it's kind of like Space Invaders.
Oh, okay, there you go.
You got ships coming down, and you're trying to build up your base, and then destroy the ships before they reach your base, and take out things in your base. And then you got the mothership slowly lowering as well.
Oh, by the way, James, your Twilight Imperium Prophecy of Kings expansion is on my list too, by the way. That game can be pre-ordered through my distributor. It's not. I haven't actually placed said order yet. So you're safe.
How dare you? You hit that button. You hit it. You hit it with both fingers like this. So one thing I wanted to bring up, because I wanted to see what your thoughts on it were. So D&D is coming out with a new, Wizard of the Coast is coming out with a new board game called D&D: The Adventures Begin.
I saw this. Actually, I'm already aware of that. It's actually not being done through Wizards of the Coast. I think it's actually being published by Hasbro, because that's who the publisher was in my system, anyways. But it's supposed to be like an introductory level sort of. It's supposed to be an introduction to D&D, and it's supposed to even be kid appropriate from what I've heard of it thus far.
It has an interesting mechanism where the DM switches every turn.
Interesting.
So every player gets to be the DM, and it's for 2 to 4 players, and it is for 10 and up. So it's got to be a little bit on the simpler side for that. So I'm glad it's not going to be Rory Story Cube in D&D version. So it's going to be a little more than that. But it says it's supposed to like give them the idea of initiative and some of the ideas of like creating like character abilities and traits and stuff without going like too far into it. So that'll be interesting.
Yep, there it is. It was on my list. Yes.
So this is going to be Dan's ordering list. So the episode actually is going to be.
Well, I'm not ordering all these games in my store, but all these games are available for pre-order. So if you are interested in these games, look for them at your friendly local gaming store, wherever that might be. They're not going to be there yet because they're still on pre-order. If you really want them, you might want to ask about them because, if you're near a small store like mine, they might not be ordering the game unless they know they've got a potential buyer.
I think the biggest question for you, Dan, is when is Pandemic Legacy Season 0 getting into your store?
Don't know yet. We'll see if it shows up later. I see both Fortune and Glory expansions are on this list of potential pre-orders. I will have to seriously think about that. I've got a lot for that game. I've got everything for that game that's been published so far. I have to debate over whether I really want more. It's not like the box can't handle it. The box is living huge, so it can handle more content. There's an expansion from Spirit Island on the list too.
Yeah,
Jagged Earth.
It's supposed to be really good. There's a lot of people that reviewed it and really liked it. They said the gods that came with it are more complicated than normal, so it's like you wouldn't use them as your intro players gods.
This was a Kickstarter a while ago, and I really, really thought for weeks and weeks whether to back this, but I hadn't played the original game yet, and I was like, okay, I need to play the original game before I back up the expansions. And by the time I got to play the original game, Kickstarter was already over, unfortunately. But I'm not sure if I would have backed this because the original game is pretty complicated in itself. It's very asymmetric. You have to learn your powers, but it's very important that you understand what other people can do because you have to work with them and play your powers off the partners and work together as much as possible. So it's really difficult to learn. But it's really satisfying once you get the engine working properly, getting everything working together. And it's like, if you manage to sync up and get a lot of things done in a turn, that can be really, really satisfying.
So, sounds interesting. And it makes sense that they're asymmetric because you do play as a god that all have different powers and different things and stuff. So, yeah. Yep. I know that the one expansion you should get is the Twilight Imperium expansion.
Unfortunately, I'm not actually logged in right now, so I can't just, add it right now while we're talking. Next time, I'll when we do this,
All right, folks. Dan's writing this down on a piece of paper. I'm seeing him writing this down. The other thing too that's pretty interesting too is the photosynthesis expansion. Looks really cool.
Okay.
I don't know if you're.
I know you played this recently, right? The core game.
I played the core game recently. I like it a lot. I played it a long time ago at work and liked it. And it wasn't my copy. And I played it again with my daughters and my wife. And it is a great abstract game. It's super easy to teach. It's cool because it's an abstract game, so really there is no theme to it, but it seems like there's a theme, which I like a lot. So you get these big 3D trees in it, and there's 3 different stages of the trees, and you grow the trees, and you're trying to block the light from your opponent's tree, and you're trying to get as much light as the sun revolves around the game board. So there's a lot of like abstract thinking that you have to do with like placement of your trees and how you're going to grow them and how everything's going to shift every time that sun moves. There's just a lot of things to think about. And you also have to harvest these trees because that's actually the only way you get points. You have to harvest the tree. So you got this giant tree here getting you tons of light every turn. When do you kill that tree to get your points? Because as soon as you do that, when the next round, you're not going to get points for that tree because it's not there. So there's a lot of cool things to think about in it. And I think that Moonlight expansion is going to really be cool and add an extra flavor to it with little animals and the moonlight. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but I'm really excited to get that one a shot.
They're coming out with an expansion for Targi? What are they even doing?
Yeah, the Targi's a 2-player game, I believe, right?
Yeah, cards, new border cards, water tokens, and a special Targi pawn. Interesting.
I don't think they're adding a whole lot with the Targi expansion. I just think they're adding a little bit more replayability to it. So just a little more variability, I think, is it.
I love the name of the expansion. Targi, the expansion.
It's true. It's true. That's what it's called, folks. How about Ascension Eternal, right? Ascension's been on the market for a while. It's got many box sets. Ascension Eternal is a new box set. It's geared specifically to teach new players the game engine.
I'll probably get Ascension Tactics. Have you seen that one?
No, I know nothing about
Ascension Tactics? You know nothing about Ascension Tactics?
Nope.
So basically, in Ascension Tactics, they have the same sort of idea. So the same sort of idea they do in Ascension where you're doing the deck building is in there, but you also have a board that you play out with. And you get to summon these different characters and stuff from the Ascension world, and you get to battle with them. There's like a ton of miniatures to it and a ton of different things that can happen. I think, 38 miniatures.
It's a miniatures deck building game.
It's a miniatures deck building game. I don't know exactly what's going to be non-Kickstarter and what's going to be Kickstarter. It seems to me that the Kickstarter stuff is just different sculpts of the stuff, and everything else theoretically is available retail later on, but I'm not sure. I didn't read through all of it. But it looks cool. So if I was going to get any more Ascension products, that would probably be it, because playing through all the different Ascension expansions and stuff they have out there is like playing through all the Dominion expansions. Eventually, it's just like, I've seen that.
Do you guys want to know what monopolies I'm seeing? Some of them are actually funny.
Oh, okay, let's do it. What monopolies are you seeing?
Okay, I see Monopoly Elf, D&D, Naruto, Dragon Ball Super, and Monopoly Bob Ross.
Okay, so I knew about all of those except for the Bob Ross one. But the Bob Ross one does not surprise me. I just don't know how. What do you land on? Like Boardwalk is titanium white? I don't know. You just have chill cash when you pass go. You just get chill. I don't know.
I don't get the whole sudden obsession with Bob Ross again. It's like, haven't heard anything from Bob Ross in decades. I don't even know if he's still alive. And
the reason he's popular is because he died.
Oh. Congratulations, James. I hit the end of my list, and near the end of my list is Pandemic Legacy Season 0. So I can't put in a pre-order for it.
Yeah.
I'm not logged in, but some of the other ones that I caught between now and then that are Viscounts. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is coming out. Yep. Okay. Roman Roll. This caught my eye when it was previewed at, some gaming show. Saw a video that was taken at some gaming shows. So this obviously was before the shutdown. But this is a competitive multiplayer roll and write.
How do you spell this one?
Sounds interesting.
Roman Roll.
Is it one word or two? I'm not finding it. That's why it's like,
let me see.
A cool game.
Literally Rome and roll, not Roman.
Yeah, roll ampersand and roll. Gaia Project is also for some reason on my list. I know it's been on the market for a while, so maybe it's being reprinted or going to a second edition or something else along those lines.
Yeah, sorry, I was still stuck on Roman Roll.
That's okay. One cool game that I thought looked really cool was called Fort.
Oh, yep.
And you build the most awesome kids fort you can while making friends and eating pizza. So it sounds dumb, but it actually looks pretty cool. I think that might be one that I might want to pick up to play with my kids because it just looks neat. The art's really cool on it. The idea of making a little fort and stuff is cool. So that was just one I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and it's a sort of a big on the combo building it.
Yeah, so it's cool in that way too. So you get a little mechanism teaching in it too. I have decided that Pendulum would give me a heart attack, so I am probably going to skip Pendulum.
I'm sorry. Did they release some gameplay footage of this, or what makes you think it'll give you a heart attack?
There's some reviews up already. It is a very time-based game, so there's a lot with the timers. Now, I noticed that from the reviews and stuff, it seems like you can still do what you need to do in the timer. I just hate timers. I already don't take long on my turns, but you put a timer in there, and I just can't function. I'm just like, I give up. I don't know. Like, my turns are fast. But when a timer is involved, everything just breaks down. So...
Yeah, I have a bit of a blind spot with this game. It says I keep hearing about it, but it's like every time I look at the cover, I lose interest. I don't know. Something about the cover is just too symmetrical, not very interesting.
I like the cover, but, I'm not an art critic.
It's kind of got a fisheye look to the cover.
That's just what you need is another fisheye, yeah.
Fisheye lens. I need to pick up a fisheye. And Root keeps coming out with it.
Yep.
They have Root the Clockwork expansion, and Root the Exiles and Partisans deck, and Root the Underworld expansion, and Root the Vagabond pack all came out. So I haven't played Root yet. That might be a game we need to play.
I really don't want to.
You don't want to play Root? Have you played it?
I mean, promise the game sounds cool, but it's got this huge learning curve because you have to learn, like, your specific faction. Each faction plays differently.
Yeah.
So you gotta play it like you gotta play it once or twice just to learn what your faction does, and then you gotta play it 2 or 3 more times to learn what the other factions are doing, so you know how to deal with them.
Or you could throw all the expansions same time.
I could teach you Root. I don't think it's terribly difficult to learn, but yeah, you're gonna lose.
No, you're gonna lose. Now I know I would lose at Root if you did the first time.
You're absolutely correct. You can get your faction pretty quickly in the first game, but it's not till towards the end of the game that you really know what you should be doing to counter the other faction. So it's the second game that you're really playing the game and really kind of getting it.
Which is fine. I like how some of the factions are completely different.
Yep. And the Bird faction, I would say, for a new player is probably the best. It's a program movement. It's easier to get. It starts with a better footing. Whereas the Vagabond it's not too bad. He's kind of like not really 100% involved in everybody. He can kind of play off people and negotiate. So if you're in the negotiation, that's a good role for a new player. I forgot. There's one role you don't want to play when you're a new player, but I can't remember what it was.
The Vagabond?
No, Vagabond. Well, depending on what you want to do. I think it was the
I want to play the cats.
The mice, whatever their mice were called.
I'm going to play the West Side Cats.
The cats start off strong on the board, and they just have to maintain so they're not too bad. The mice are the hardest one because they start off with nothing and have to fight for everything.
The other cool thing is Marvel Champions. I don't know how well that's been doing your store there, Dan, but they're coming out with a bunch of new mini packs and stuff that are cool. But the one that I'm most interested in was the Galaxy Most Wanted expansion for it, which I believe it potentially might be a standalone box. It's huge. So it has a lot of stuff in it, but that doesn't come out until next year. But
okay. Yeah, what do you call it? I bought a couple copies of the base game and one of each expansion when it on launch, and I haven't basically because of the shutdown and everything else that happened. I don't think I've been able to restock or get more of it. So at this point, I think I've got to abandon it just because we haven't maintained it in so long.
Well, they're definitely doing a lot of support for it too, so maybe think about that too. Maybe. I don't know. You have to look into it a bit. They just this year. I mean, it came out last year, right? And just this year, it looks like they have 10 things coming out for it, and they already have that Galaxy Most Wanted set for next year. So they have their product support for it all the way till next year. Plus, it's Marvel. Now, I'm sad that no one mentioned anything was another Mansions of Madness expansion. I need that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Small World of Warcraft is coming out.
Small World of Warcraft is coming out.
Yeah, that's important. I think this is a match made in heaven to match the chaos of unique special powers plus races with the beating each other up of Small World. Yeah, this is going to work.
Yeah, and I believe that one has a module board. One of the Small World experts there actually added the module board. Really cool. You can set up the terrain different.
Another one we haven't talked about yet that you guys may not know about is Cosmic Frogs. I don't know if either of you have heard of it.
I have not.
Cosmic Frogs is by the same people who did Cosmic Encounters, and you are literally God Frog out in the universe, and it's kind of an area of control, but the galaxy is kind of chipping away, and you can be knocked out in the void and have to spend several turns coming back. But the longer you're out in the void, the more power you build up, so you can actually do a lot once you get back to the game. So it's got a lot of weird mechanics. It has really kind of over the top powers, and you can actually swap out your powers periodically. It's It should be good. I mean, Cosmic, I really love. It does have that worry of potentially being too random, but I think they have a good pedigree with this company. I think they can pull it off.
I'm going to mention one here because I need your guys' help finding it on BGG so I have more information. This game is simply called Aliens, which is why it's so hard to find. It's obviously a movie tie-in because 20th Century Fox logo is on the cover in the bottom left corner. Looks like it's being produced by Gale Force 9.
Yes, Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Corpse.
Yeah, I was going to say that one.
There we go. There's the subtitle. I did not see the subtitle before. Maybe if I type in the subtitle, I will be able to find more information about this.
Yeah, the game looks
survival game.
Yeah, the game looks really cool. I'm wondering if it's actually going to be as good as Nemesis, which is Aliens without the Aliens name. It even has like xenomorph looking things, and the amount of content that is out for Nemesis.
I mean, Nemesis is in the process of finishing their second Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Their second Kickstarter included like 2 more expansions and 1 more standalone set. So there's like literally a large sum of mass for that game.
Yeah, there is, and that's what I'm worried about with the Aliens game. Since
will it live up to the license with another strongly thematic game in the same category as it? Basically.
Yeah, my guesses are no.
So yeah, it almost seems like they're something that they've seen Nemesis, they've seen how similar it is to theirs, and I was like,
they want to cash in by getting not necessarily cash in. They realize that the market's there for that sort of game, so they're making use of the license to get to a wider audience and making money that way.
And they definitely have on the full license on there, and they did what I really hate.
What's that?
Stills from movies.
Yeah.
So, and they're like, they're the quality of the time.
Oh, I see. The character cards have the characters' photos on them, and those photos are actually like screenshots from the film, cropped and repositioned on the cards, basically.
Yeah, it's the same thing for the cards in the game. A lot of the cards in the game are just stills.
Yeah. They could have been a little more creative with that, like done some like caricature artwork.
Yeah, I'd rather it had been drawn or anything else, or CGI, or just they clean them up a little bit, because it like a lot of those movies that were during that time and stuff, they didn't really have, the film wasn't that great. So the pictures aren't that great. So they're not really at the standard that it would be if they filmed it right now.
Oh, I should mention those too. Guys, Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is coming to retailers. I already have my Kickstarter version. I got mine I got a copy directly through the Kickstarter because I like to support those people because I like what they do. But that game's coming to retail, and Tiny Epic Pirates finished their Kickstarter, so I believe they're still in the early stages of the production portion of the project. They just released the premium PDF files to backers, if I'm not mistaken. So that will also come to Spores, but I think that's going to come like Q4 this year or Q1 next year, just because of the way Kickstarter works.
Did you get a chance to play Tiny Epic Dinosaurs yet?
Yeah, I know. Me and Ken actually did sit down for a game of it. It's a worker placement game. There's no unique special powers, though you have an opportunity to acquire some interesting things through the research deck. And yeah, it's got some cool stuff going on there. Probably the most interesting portion of it is like the way you manage resources in the game. When you capture dinos, you have to put them onto your player board. When you put them onto your player board, you cover up resource symbols more often than not. And then you also have to feed them at the end of the round, either plant or animals, based on whether they're herbivores or meat eaters. So it's really costly to keep dinosaurs in your pen for a long period of time. But you need dinosaurs in your pen to complete objective cards. Those are the things that are worth probably most points in the game.
Sounds cool. I definitely want to have a day where I just play Tiny Epic games.
Yeah,
that would be a Tiny Epic marathon.
Great. The only time in the Epic I've played so far is Western, and I wasn't terribly thrilled by that. It
Western,
seemed
I
like the
think, is-
least interesting of the ones.
A lot of people love Tiny Epic Western. It's definitely one of the heavier ones.
What I call my initial impression of Western was like that it was probably one of the weaker ones as well. I think it's grown on me a little bit in the number of plays I've logged on it, incidentally speaking. I think I appreciate it more now that I've got, 6 to 12 plays on it, as I think where I'm at.
I can see where that can happen on the game too, because it did have a lot of strategy that you can employ in the game and a lot of different things that can happen. More so than like Tiny Epic Galaxies or Tiny Epic Adventure. But I haven't played any. They were all seemed a lot simpler than Western. Not like they're really simple. Just like Tiny Epic Western seemed to have more too. It just didn't work for me. But maybe if I played a couple more times, it would. One thing I wanted to bring up real quick while you're looking stuff up and stuff. Quacks of Quedlinburg is having another expansion.
Yeah, cool. Another one.
I think it's called The Alchemist. I don't know German, but I'm pretty sure it's The Alchemist.
Okay, sure.
So right now there's only a German release. There's no U.S. release at all for it, but I'm pretty sure it would. The game actually introduced nightmares, obsessions, and hysteria to the Quacks of Quedlinburg base game, with the players working in laboratories to distill essences that can free the citizens of Quedlinburg from these afflictions. So I'm not really sure what that means at all. But it can be used with the base game or with Herb Witch expansions. I'm assuming it has like some other mechanisms or things you can put in there to do different things to make your brew different, but not sure. There's not a lot on it right now. I love Quacks of Quedlinburg. I haven't played the expansion yet, but I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I really want to pick up the expansion mainly because it adds the 5th player. And
I want to give the expansion a whirl mainly because it introduces more books. It has 4 more books in it, James. The Herb Wishes.
And yes, that is German for The Alchemist. It practically is the same word, almost slightly different.
But I'm just being careful. I'm pretty sure it meant. I'm pretty sure it does. But
all right, so a couple more from my list. As long as we're just sitting here talking about games, I see Legend of the Sleepy Hollow being put out by Greater Than Games. This looks, I'll have to admit, it's got a really interesting line art on the cover, almost like a comic book style.
Yeah, definitely look into it more. It doesn't really say too much on it, so I'm not really sure how it plays. There's some pictures here and stuff, and it's mainly just like fluff for explaining the game, so it doesn't really talk about how you play
co-op
it.
Game. Yeah, it tells you that it's a co-op game, and it uses point-to-point movement. So maybe you're just like visiting locations in the Sleepy Hollow, trying to uncover the mystery, or
Yeah, so it could
you're definitely trying to avoid fear. Apparently, fear is a bad thing. Yes,
which would make sense. I mean, it has like a board that's just like a house, so I'm assuming you're just moving through a house. There's really not much
house board
on it.
Yeah.
And the player boards look really cool too. They look unique. So I definitely look into it more. I can't wait for more information to come out on that game. Because right now I don't know what to go off of it. There's some miniatures.
I mean, the board kind of puts me off a little bit. It kind of looks slightly like Clue.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, I had that in the back of my head. I was like, they took a Clue bird and made it brown.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So,
but it looks like it's a double-sided board, so you have the outside, which actually the outside looks nice.
I didn't see the outside yet. But,
man, I found 2 more Monopolies.
Stop it with the Monopoly.
We don't care.
Monopoly Goes Green and Monopoly The Child. This is Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian.
Oh, no, I heard about that one, yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that
one's about.
We could do a whole episode where I'm just, like, droning on about and just naming off monopolies. I could just we could do 1 hour of me just saying Monopoly, because I'm pretty sure there's several thousands. We'd
be down to like 1 or 2 viewers, if that, by the end of that.
And that guy probably would kill himself at the end of it. That's it. I think that's a lot of the big stuff coming out. I mean, what out of all of that would you? Oh, you already know what I'm most excited about. What are you guys most excited about?
Before we get to that, there's one more I thought I would mention. Since Dan missed the interview, I don't believe you were in the Token Terror interview.
No.
That one actually looks really, really interesting. It's somewhat reminiscent of Onitama, but you pick 2 races, and each race will have their racial power, and you're just moving all around the board and trying to claim other people's tokens. So it's a pretty simple looking game. I was really thinking about backing this, but it is 2-player only, so it's not great for me. But since you play a lot of 2-player games, you might want to look into this.
Okay, all right.
Right.
I've got 2 more, and then you can go and gush about whatever game you want to gush about, Jay.
No, I don't have a gushing about a game. Mine's Twilight. I just want to get back on Token Terrors real quick, because I just wanted to mention it's already meet its goal on there. But the tokens that come in that game are primarily modeled for double as Magic the Gathering.
Which game's this now?
It's called Token Terrors. He actually
Token
is working
Terrors.
on blister packs for selling for tokens for Magic the Gathering or other stuff you may want to use it for. I can't talk. So it's a board game with these tokens, are dice shaped, that that are originally made for Magic the Gathering token.
Full title is Token Terrors Battleground.
Yeah, Token Terrors Battleground.
No, I found some pics.
And if you go,
yeah,
if you
they're
dive
like
a
little
little
plastic
deeper,
miniatures is what they look like to me.
yeah, and if you dive a little deeper, you can see where he pairs them up with the Magic cards that a lot of them had inspirations from. But the game itself, like Nathan said, it seems like a really cool abstract game with a lot of little player powers and stuff. So it looks cool. But moving along. So what else, Scott?
All right. 2 games more to mention that are coming to hopefully a friendly local game store near you. Chronicles of the Crime 1400. Yeah, it's the year 1400, and you're going to play Chronicles of the Crime. Apparently the game takes place in Paris. It's standalone. It's based on the mechanics of the original Chronicles of the Crime, and that was like a deduction style game.
Nah. I think this was really, really hyped, and a lot of people really didn't like it. I didn't find it all that great, mainly because it felt like it should be 1 or 2 players at. It was one of those ones that's supposedly a cooperative game, but you're mostly exploring with your phone, so you kind of have to pass your phone around, which I thought was awesome.
Fair enough. The other one, and apparently a lot of stuff is coming out for this. So, this was a Kickstarter game that's coming to retail most likely. It's called Black Rose Wars.
That, I think, actually was originally out in our Kickstarter one, wasn't it?
Yes. This was released for Kickstarter a while ago.
According to BGG, the English edition came out in 2019. So
and it does look like an amazing game. It looks like an amazing...
it's got some really sweet artwork behind it. I will grant it that. It also looks like an incredibly complicated game. Only 3.5 on BGG. Not horrible, but not great either.
No, I don't know if it's like horribly complicated. I believe there's a lot of asymmetric powers to it, and it's a deck building strategy game. So there's a lot of stuff. It's a
competitive fantasy. It's competitive. It's fantasy genre. It's deck building, and it takes place in this unique universe. I mean, it definitely will. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I'm actually going to put that on my list there so I can pay attention to it.
That's what I do too, by the way. When I'm watching games, I'll stick them on my want to play list. That way I can check up on them periodically, conduct more research before I actually move them to my wish list or what have you.
Yeah, 100%. I'm also going to keep talking so Nathan can't because it just interrupts.
I was going to say, I saw this on Kickstarter. I followed it for a while. I decided not to back it because it looked a little too complicated, but from what I hear, it's not as complicated as it looked.
Yeah, I hear it's actually pretty intuitive once you get into it. It's not complicated at all. A lot of the stuff I heard came from just learning the different groups. So if that's true, it should be... I'll look into it more, but that should be good. And I love the miniatures on it. Not that I don't have an entirely huge backlog of things. I tried to paint all the Mansions of Madness for Nathan before he got there, but I didn't make it, so he got to see a whole bunch of half-painted stuff, and I was like, no!
And now you have tons more stuff.
That ruins the immersion to know that they were once not painted. Whatever.
I even only got one hero painted.
Whatever.
One. All the other ones had like their primary colors on it, and that's it. So they work worse than just being gray model blobs. But oh well, you know. I'll get that, and I have one more expansion to get for Mansions of Madness, and I'll finish that once I figure out how to get that one. And then they'll come out with 2 more expansions.
Right. Yep. That's exactly what will happen.
Which I hope they do. I really hope they do. I hope they just keep plugging stuff out.
Actually, how many years has it been since they came out with the core game?
Oh, it's been a while. I really no. I don't want a third edition. Is that where you're getting at? No.
The second edition. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. This is Fantasy Flight, right?
If they make a conversion kit for it, sure. That'd be great. In fact, then I wouldn't have to worry about the one expansion. Suppression, I think I need. I think that's
it depends. It depends on the game as to whether or not it took them. I guess Mansions of Madness, the original, was only 2011, so it took them 5 years to make the second edition.
Yeah.
5 years to streamline the rules engine and to release the second edition. I mean, it didn't take them 5 years. I guess that it took them less development than that to get the second edition squared away. But
I would also be afraid they would change some stuff. I like rolling the dice, and it's supposed to be that way. I don't want it to be more like the Lord of the Rings, where you don't roll dice. That runs the same sort of engine as it. I don't want to flip cards. I want to roll dice.
All right. Well, good.
Plus, I spent $15 on dice. Stupid thing. So,
That's true.
So, I guess if they come out with a third edition, I'm not losing my second edition. I just want more content for second edition.
Fair enough.
It might be a little bit too early to be talking about this one because it's not coming out till next year sometime. But I'm super excited about Oathsworn. I backed that. And that's coming next year sometime. But that looks like it's going to be basically Mansions of Madness in a fantasy theme. They went all out on the narration.
Your Title Blade should be coming in too, right?
Title Blade should be coming in soon. That's sometime this month, I believe. That's coming in.
Oh, you have to do an unboxing for that. That thing looks amazing.
Yeah, that was supposed to come earlier. It got delayed because of COVID and unfortunate, but understandable. So
the artwork for that game is amazing. I think you get an artwork book for it too. This is going to be amazing. That game is going to be I thought Mechs vs. Minions production quality was through the roof. This one looks like it's just a beyond Mechs vs. Minions.
Huh. It's a co-op that uses, it says deck, bag, or pool building. So I'm not sure which one of those three it actually does.
It's all three.
Sorry, is there a deck, and is there also a bag, and is there also a different pool that it uses, James?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
Oh,
there's a lot of videos on how to play that. There's a lot to the game. It's a big game. It looks amazing. Again, I can't get over how amazing this game is. I wish I backed the game. It doesn't have a complexity rating at all yet, but I imagine it might be slightly up there.
I'm sorry. Currently, it's sitting at a 3.25, but I don't know how many people voted. Only 4 people voted.
Yeah, not enough for it to be set in yet. So that had to be, I would assume, reviewers doing it.
Yeah, reviewers or playtesters.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks amazing. Definitely going to have to play that next time I come up and see Nathan. I hope he hates it.
So you get it, huh? I see.
And that's actually, they based this, they're going to do an RPG off Title Blades too. So there'll be a Title Blades RPG. And this one's part 1, and I believe they're going to do a ton of different, they're going to do multiple parts, obviously. So this is going to be a whole world, a whole big thing. So, and this game is gigantic already, so I don't know how, it might be an entire Kalax for Nathan, Title Blades.
Yeah, I'm actually getting something on Thursday, which would be from the Frosthaven Kickstarter. But I believe it's just the little add-ons I got for the original Gloomhaven and Gloomhaven expansion. So little extra components. I don't believe the actual Frosthaven game will come till.
What was the release date on it? Because I think it was pretty far ahead of it. I can't remember. I would assume it still wouldn't.
It was a pretty quick turnaround but yeah, sometime next year. That's right. I believe it was early next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe when they started the Kickstarter, it was almost done anyway. It was just a matter of improving quality and getting everything settled.
Well, I just thought of a game that Dan needs to get in the store, which is Crew, the Quest for Planet 9.
Yep.
That's been in the store in the past, right?
It has. I think that's where Peter got his copy.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, this whole episode is games Dan has to order.
I think it might still be in this store. It's just buried on the small game shelf. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. It has been a while.
I could have missed it when I went in, but that's one of the ones I was looking for, and I didn't see it. So that, and I think you're out of the Fox in the Forest, because I was also looking for that one. I think that one's gone too.
Oh, that one was restocked here in the last one. Pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I got Cartographers back in.
Oh man, I so want to play that game, and so want to get that game. That game looks amazing, and my family's really into the roll and writes right now. I know that's a flip and write, but I have a flip and write, which is really cool up there. Ripple Rush is a flip and write, which is amazing. So I think they'll love it.
I think they'll like it. Yeah.
I gotta get
spoiler alert for a review.
Oh no, I love it. It doesn't matter. If you want to listen to the podcast, you see the review again, like it. It's good. Ripple Rush, Stronghold Games printed it. It's up there. Other than Terraforming Mars.
I'm sorry. This is one of the ones that you did a video for that's not out yet.
Yeah, we did a video for Ripple Rush, Dizzle, Nova Luna. Those are all coming out.
They'll be out by the time this episode airs, right?
Hopefully.
Okay.
This week, which is going to be in the past for this episode, we have 5 more reviews going up. So that'll be cool. So yeah, we got a lot of review videos. We hit 80 videos on YouTube, so I'm excited about that. And at the rate we're going, we're going to hit 100 really quick. So
cool.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can see all these wonderful things. You can see how bald I am.
There is that, yeah.
I have recently had to give up on that as well.
Okay, Dan's next.
I'm next for what? Oh,
balding, obviously.
Nope, sorry. Still pretty thick here.
Well, after we can start, next time we can visit, maybe we'll fix that.
Show up at Dan at NDC with like shavers and stuff, and Dan will be like, no, and running out the back.
Oh, yeah.
I think that has to be part of the tabletop gaming uniform.
Yeah,
tabletop gaming
exactly.
guild.
We'll just be chanting one of us, and you'll see Peter show up, and he's been shaved.
Oh man,
defend himself.
You guys just never want me to come over, huh?
No, you have to come over and bring glory to Rome.
That's good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I listened to the episode that I wasn't on where you guys were plotting my downfall, so I know about this.
We're supposed to do that. That's a whole plotting thing. That doesn't work. How does a plot work if you know what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I do love Glory to Rome. That is if 51st State is similar-ish, even if it's ish on the level, I will be all over that game. I hear you. I see you nodding. Yes, it's great for the plot. It is nodding. Yes.
Yeah. They are definitely different games, which is why I keep both of them in my collection. My preference is Glory to Rome because it is just explosive and broken in all the best ways possible.
Yeah.
But 51st State is very, very strong, and I would play it almost any time as well. So.
Barring me not being able to get Glory to Rome, 51st State is probably my best option. Although Motainai, have you played that one?
Yeah, no, I've never played Motainai, but my understanding is that it's a refinement of the same kind of design, not the exact same design. The game functions a little bit differently because the deck size is different. If you pick up the 2-player version, the deck is entirely singletons. There's no duplicate copies of any of the cards, so you know if you're using a card as not like a work, which is what they are, because instead of buildings, you're never going to see that effect anywhere else in the game.
Yeah, I definitely want to give that one a shot. Definitely 51st State. Yeah,
I have not played my Tainai, but if given the chance to sit down to a game, I would because I want to compare it to Glory to Rome. I don't expect it to surpass Glory to Rome for me personally, but I would definitely be interested.
I would definitely buy Motainai and the expansion and trade it to you.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't accept that.
No, I don't think you would. Yeah.
Motainai.
But yeah, it's the same Glory to Rome, but really caught my eye. I know there's a 4-player version of it somewhere in the world, but I don't know how to get it. I know there's 2-player versions available. I wonder if you just buy 2 copies of the 2-player one, you can do the 4-player. I don't know.
I think that's the way it works, but I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while on that game.
I can't imagine this selling well, only because it's like, I don't even know how to look for this game.
Well,
I've got a copy or 2 of it, plus the expansion, fairly certain.
All right, so it's basically spelled this way. You're going to be Mottainai. And you have to have
Time Mountain is the
and Matainai is a 2 to 5 player one. I think it says if it's deluxe. I don't know. And then there's a 2-player version on it. That's what confuses me on the different versions of it. But there is one that's 5 player.
Yeah, when it first came out in 2015, they came out with 2 different versions. One's 1 deck for 2 players. The other one is 2 decks for up to 4.
Okay, so it's Matainai Mini is the 2-player one. Matainai Deluxe has the 2 decks, and it's the 2 to 5 player one. And then the expansion, is it for the 2-player or is it for 2 to 5 player?
Where's Wutai Mountain? Let me check.
I love how the description of the game starts with how to pronounce this name.
Doesn't say.
You only need 1 copy regardless of player count.
Oh, it says 2 to 5. Okay, but it can. All right, so it looks like if you buy the Wutai Mountain expansion, it'll work with the deluxe or the mini.
Yeah, looks like it'll work either way. Yep. All right. That's not a new game. That's quite an old game, having come out in 2015?
Yeah, and it looks like you can't get it. So I don't know why the expansion is out. You can't get the deluxe one. You can only get the mini one.
That has been my experience through my distribution channels as well. Is that I can only get the 2-player version of the game.
I hate that when they do that. It's like I go on websites. It's like, oh, we got the expansion, and we're putting it on sale. It's like, okay, I don't have the base game. Let's see if they don't have the base game available. It's like, why put the expansion on without?
No, I can get the base. I can get the base game, but only the 2-player deck.
Yeah.
Right. You can get the base game at Matainai Mini, and then you can get the expansion, which is freely available.
Yep.
But you've never opened up the Matainai
Yeah, that's
Mini.
just it. I've never opened one up myself. I've never had one being opened by somebody else. I've never had it brought it into Board Game Club. I literally I only know about this game like secondhand as determined.
So I'm wondering
I think if you buy the 2-player deck and you'll be able to play 2-player for sure. If you want to be able to play up to 4, I think you got to add either a second.
Up to 5.
I'm sorry. Wutai Mountain says 2 to 3, and Core Game says 2 to 4, I believe.
Yeah.
No, 2 to 5.
No, 2 to 4.
I'm just looking at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. 2 to 5. Community
Community.
says 2 to 4. Best 2. All right.
So it's sort of 2 to 5. Not really.
Either way, it looks like you just buy 2 of the mini 2 to 4.
I believe that's the way it works.
Which the mini one's only like $16 or something like that. So maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember what the retail is on the game.
So not expensive. All right. So you guys have any more new games or anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, both the mini and Wutai Mountain are $15 retail.
Yeah, so not bad.
All right. No, I'm done with new games. I'm done looking up new games on my distributor. I decided to stick to that rather than talk about games that I personally have been playing or looking at just for consistency reason.
Yeah, no, we should do a whole episode where we're just talking about just recap of what we've been playing. But for now, that's the cool stuff we wanted to talk about. And watch out for our new YouTube reviews that are coming out. We got some Instagram reviews that came out.
Hey, listeners, just a reminder, on our last episode, we talked about co-op games. There should be a poll about co-op games on...
Yeah, it'll be on our Facebook group, or there'll be a link on the in this podcast and the previous one.
Vote about which co-op game you'd like to see us play.
Thank you for listening. If you have any feedback for us, feel free to visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Board Game Geek Guild 2989, or our website at tabletopgamingguild.com. And don't forget to like, follow, and or subscribe. Tabletop Gaming Guild is a product of Tabletop Gaming Guild, LLC. All rights reserved.